officer with Tenny and a proud trans woman. I stand before you today in raising awareness about the issues we face and call for your support in our fight for justice and equity. Trans people have the right to dignity, privacy, respect and bodily autonomy. Any discussions or decisions that affect our lives must involve and prioritise input from us, the trans community. Our government and institutions need to listen, be accountable and respond to our needs as equals. No visibility without agency. Earlier this month, I became the first trans person to deliver a speech in the Dáil, a great win for trans visibility in Ireland. I talked of the barriers in healthcare, legal recognition and transphobia in our society that prevents trans people from fully participating in public life. However, literally as I spoke in that chamber, an article was published in a far-right publication legitimised by the Press Council of Ireland that misgendered me and published my dead name. That previous day, their editor contacted my personal phone and claimed that a named politician had described me as a man. In turn, the message of my speech was largely ignored, while personal attacks and abuse aimed at me were posted all over social media. I've since learned that abuse also proliferated in far-right discussion groups following on from death threats I had received on a previous occasion. Is this the visibility that we as a community fought for? No visibility without safety. As we celebrate Trans Day of Visibility, it's important to recognise the ongoing struggles and discrimination faced by the trans community in Ireland. Despite progress in the last decade with the Gender Recognition Act and increased visibility in the media, trans people continue to experience significant barriers to equality and respect. On this day of trans visibility, we demand better trans healthcare in Ireland. It is appalling that we have the worst trans healthcare in the EU, with a 9-year wait for adults and no service for adolescents. Trans people have the right to informed consent healthcare in the community. Our healthcare must be depathologized and move from mental health into sexual health in line with the World Health Organization policies signed up to by this government. However, we still continue to be forced to endure invasive psychiatric assessments that ask about our porn habits and the genitals of our sexual partners to access healthcare, violating our right to bodily autonomy and dignity. We also call for a ban on unnecessary, non-consensual genital surgeries on intersex children. Recently, an NGS clinician went on the record saying there's nothing easy about being trans. Firstly, what are these clinicians actually doing to make our lives easier then? Tenny challenges this sweeping assumption. We face discrimination and minoritisation in healthcare, but our transitions are not inherently difficult. Transition can be an overwhelmingly positive and empowering process. We see this in all the amazing, beautiful trans people living inspiring lives and visibly thriving. We see this in the work we do in schools and with families through adult peer support and social groups in our places of work and beyond. Tenny can link you in with community. Together we can make our communities strong and our lives easier. We must also demand that legal gender recognition laws recognise non-binary and intersex individuals as well as those of us under 16. But healthcare and legal recognition is just one area where trans people face discrimination. Violence against the trans community is becoming all too common in our society, with a marked rise in reported hate-motivated attacks, and it's crucial that this is tackled immediately. Trans people must be included in legislation banning conversion practices and their promotion without exception. Sex education in our schools must be inclusive of all gender minorities. I also call on our allies to join us in raising trans voices and demonstrating solidarity and support. Together, we can send a powerful message to our government and health service on 3 core areas that affect our lives: healthcare, gender recognition, and respect. Allies must stand with the trans community and work to amplify our voices, experience, and expertise. We must include trans people in decision making as equals and respond to our needs as equals. Together we can create a more inclusive and just society for all, where every person can live and thrive with dignity, respect, and equality. Thank you.